Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever behind the scenes Broken Shifter podcast where we're going to tell you some stories about ourselves and let you get to know the people behind the podcast a little better. And I feel like the best way to do it is to introduce ourselves by our gamer tags that you will see us on whenever you watch a game, and then also our first name. Sorry, you can't have our last name or our address or our social security numbers. Anyways, my gamer tag is Herden. That's what you know me as. Also known as Cody. Real name.
I'm Carbon, Carbon Camaro SS. But obviously from Herden, you know me as Justin as well.
Yep, and I'm Kill 'em All Ladies. I am known as Caboose. Only known alias.
Definitely not Chief H. Michael's dick.
Nope.
Yeah, none of those.
As far as they're
Or any other
concerned.
many gamer tags that you've had over the years.
Anyways, we're going to do something a little different here. And then that way everybody can get a behind the scenes look and we can tell some stories and just bullshit around. So I'm going to do a little something different here. And I'm going to snatch an idea from Rooster Teeth. Because we're all big racing fans, and we were having a conversation earlier that we thought would be really funny for everybody, and to give an idea of, what our opinions are, and everything like that. So, what I want to ask Carbon and Caboose is, you get $1 million,
It's a lot of money.
but every time you go to the bathroom for a year, a pit crew comes in to change your belt, your shoes, and feed you a beer shaped like a gas tank. It could be a 2-tire stop where it's just one shoe. It could be they don't even take your belt off. They could just polish your glasses or something like that.
I was gonna say,
cleaning the car off.
Do they rip like a little lining off your
rip
glasses?
a little layer off your glasses, just in case you get some splash effect on your glasses, when you're peeing, especially if you're peeing in a urinal and not a toilet. You never know.
Yeah.
They'll come in and do your shoes as tires, and they'll do your belt buckle, change the lug nuts, put you a new belt on. And
They put a little
you
headset on you and yell,
crew.
aim low with the spotter.
Yeah, you've got a guy in your ear the whole time telling you exactly what you need to do, especially if you're drunk at a bar and you're like pissing on somebody else's shoe. You're pissing on somebody else's shoe, and he's like, aim left,
Black flag, black flag.
Yeah. Caution.
Debris on the track. Got an oil slick.
Yeah. What do you think? Where would you take it, and where would the problems be?
I'd be tempted to take it. $1 million is a lot of money. 1 year is not that bad. Think about it. If an entire freaking pit crew follows you into a bathroom, everyone's gonna get the fuck out. So you can make the largest and loudest shit possible, and not have to worry about someone going, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Only when you're peeing, and you're
Only
gonna
when
have
you're
a guy telling you the whole time how your stream's doing. If it's fast, if it's slow, if you're
It'll be like a Twitch
sputtering and
monitor.
running out of fuel.
Moderator.
You know what? Sure, I'll take it. The only problem I would see is, you're
5
you're-
guys around your knob.
Well, yeah, 5 guys. Well, hey, women can work the pit crew too. Not sexist. But no, it's like you got the special lady at your house. You go to the bathroom real quick just to get some business out of the way before you get down to business. And all of a sudden you hear, belts off, belts off! Get the shoes, get the shoes! I would imagine that would kill the mood a little bit.
What happens if they miss like
probably
a lug nut or something?
Yeah, what happens if you
Wait
have
a
a loose
minute.
lug nut and your pants
is the
fall
lug
down? Say you're in a public bathroom. Say
Missing
you're at a grocery
spacer, I
store,
can't
and
walk.
you go into the urinal. They change your belt for you, but they get they get the lug nut wrong, and you walk out, and all of a sudden your pants fall down in the middle of the grocery store because you got a loose belt.
I'm just imagining like a freaking like an old lady on her little scooter with a yellow flag hanging out of the basket for caution.
Pull your pants up.
And she falls out of the scooter, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die! Look at it, it's so small." All right, so Caboose said he'd take it. He's willing to risk it for an entire year every time you urinate.
I'm just gonna have to
What
use
about
off the
you, Carbon?
Gatorade.
Yeah, I'd do it. I'd definitely do it. I think it would be hilarious. And it would be kind of entertaining. It would.
I'm not doing it.
Not
It's $1
doing
million
Too,
for a
too
year
many
of
scenarios
entertainment.
that could go bad. Too many scenarios
I would
that
just
could
have
go
to make
wrong
sure
for me.
it's not Earnhart's pit crew or
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, I guess, because
Yeah.
he seems to be having tire issues. What happens if your tire, if you like, does your foot deflate?
There goes
What
all
happens
the
if you
insulation.
accidentally
Shoe falls
you get your pit crew coming in, and you're finishing up, but they're not done, and you piss on the guy changing your shoe.
Well, yeah, it's your problem for being there.
God forbid if
I'm not
the
taking
other
it.
dude
I'm
that
not
comes
doing
in freaking end up running over the other pit crew.
I'm not doing it. I drink too much beer and I pee too often for that shit. Something's gonna go wrong every time. Pit crews always screw up. And especially with somebody talking to you in your ear the whole time you're peeing. No way, man.
I think after like a
absolutely
month or
not.
so, you would be used to it. It would just become a chore, sort of.
Yeah, you just walk around holding your pants up because you know they missed the lug nut.
Guys, I got a vibration.
You put like put baggies.
You have to
over
do a
your
laser
shoes
inspection
in case
afterwards to
something
make
went
sure you're
wrong.
all in line.
Yeah. It's like you have scoliosis all of a sudden. Right height too low. All right. Anyways, Caboose, you're up.
I'm up. I thought I was going last for my topic.
Okay. Well, Carbon, you're up.
Alrighty, so my topic is a little different from the $1 million plus thing. It's or $1 million but. It's basically a question we're gonna ask each of us. Go around, talk about an experience we've had. So what is the most dangerous or scary or maybe dumbest thing you've ever done in a vehicle? We'll start with her.
I've got two.
All right.
And one goes into dumbest, and one goes into scariest. The dumbest thing I've ever done in a vehicle, I was heading to Charlottesville, and I won't say which Charlottesville that is, but I had a Ford Lightning, and it's supercharged as fast, and I was going downhill, and I was like, well, let's see what this fucker maxes out at. Let's see what the speed limiter is stock from the factory on this damn thing. And I hit 149 miles an hour, and I know that because the police had a little station set up that sits on the side of the road, and it was blinking at me 149. I was like, oh, probably shouldn't do that again.
And I
Let's
think that's in a pickup.
definitely not go. Yeah, that's in a pickup truck. I was doing 149, a supercharged V8. I was young. That's been well over 10 years ago. I'm not liable for any injuries that were incurred. No, there was no injuries. I'm just kidding. No, it was in a straight line. I was fine. And I immediately slowed down, and I was like, I'm not doing that again. The scariest thing I ever did was I had a really bad Christmas Eve, and I went to my friend's house for the evening, and spent the night over there with a couple of friends and stuff, and we had a freak snowstorm overnight, and by the time I got up to go home, it was 6 inches of snow on the ground. It's the same truck. And So I was like, I'm gonna go around and drop one of my friends off at her house, and then I'm gonna come back because I got two ways to get down my road. But I didn't think about the fact that it goes straight like 30 feet downhill and then straight back uphill, and there's a pond and the creek on both sides, so three bodies of water in a weird shape. It's hard to explain. And I went down the hill fine, and I'm like, okay, I'm carrying plenty of speed, just make sure I got traction. And I'm like, what? It's just sliding, it's sliding, it's sliding, it won't stop, it won't stop. I hit the brakes, I hit the gas, nothing was working, and I came to a rest about a foot from going into the creek, which the creek here is like a pond, basically. Not like a little pond, but I would have been, going over about 6 foot deep into a water deal. And I had a guy in a Dodge Ram come, and he hooked up to me, and he towed me away from it, and then he left. And I was like, all right. And I started taking off back up the hill. I got about halfway up the hill by just flooring it and basically slinging snow everywhere because I only had rear wheel drive and a racing truck, basically. And I get halfway up the hill, slide back down, and I'm like, oh, I'm heading for the water again. And finally I managed to burn the snow off, and my speedometer's pinging like 140 the whole way trying to get up the hill, but I managed to burn the snow off, get up the hill. But I saw my life flash before my eyes. I mean, I could have got out of the water, but if at 18 years old I had to wreck my truck, my parents would have absolutely killed me. And when I pulled into the driveway, finally, after weaseling my way up the hill to get home, I was just scared to death. I was almost in tears. And they were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, what? And they were like, "How'd you get home?" And I was like, "I drove." And they were like, "Seriously?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh, you came in such and such a road." And I was like, "Nope, I went the other way." And they were like, "What?" And I was expecting to get the "give me your keys" speech. But I didn't, because I didn't damage the truck. And I was more scared of what my parents were going to do to me. And they were like, "You're not allowed to drive in the snow anymore." And I went online and I was like, why was this truck so bad in the snow? Goodyear makes good tires, except if you're listening to Kyle Busch. And I found out Goodyear Eagle F1s have a 10 rating in the rain, a 10 rating dry, and not applicable for snow. And I didn't know that because I was 18 and I was a moron.
Not winter.
And they are not meant for it. And it was a freak snowstorm. We went to have 16 inches of snow. I didn't drive that truck for like 6 days because I couldn't get it out of the driveway. But it was horrifying, heading straight for water and knowing you couldn't stop, getting out of it, and then automatically going right back towards it again once you got out of it. And you're just like, oh my God, I'm going to drown today.
It definitely sounds like a scary story, and I can only imagine just how that felt. Freaking water, hell.
It wasn't fun.
Hell no.
No fun. You
would have been hurting.
Both of those were when I was like 18 years old. Yeah, both of those when I was 18. I'm 31 now. I'm not that dumb anymore.
Sure about
the
that.
wonders of what a high horsepower lightning would do to you. Would do to an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
The temptations.
The temptations were wrong that day.
Like, I was like really tempted to speed the other night. I was on a dead backcountry road and nobody around at all. And as soon as I started to go for it, I saw a deer on the side of the road. I'm like, nope, that brought me back to reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how the smallest or the biggest thing is what brings you back to reality. You're going, well, that was real stupid.
I done fucked up.
Yeah.
All right, so Caboose, what was yours?
I did a smidget of racing. It was a little while ago. I was in a Mustang. Classmate had a Audi A4, I think it was, the sedan. Not the top tier, but not the bottom tier either. It was that middle tier. And I know he was faster. I even admitted he had the faster car and everything. But for whatever reason, something like sparked in both our minds. Like, you know what? Let's get a Le Mans start going here. So we both go into a dead sprint, get to our cars. I was pointed into the lot. He pulled into his space, so he was backwards. His ass blocked me, and we raced out of the parking lot. Come up to the exit. We got out of the exit, got to the intersection, and I went, you know what? He's all-wheel drive. He can't do a burnout. And I decided, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do one. Started again. The tires spun up, and like right before I started making some smoke, I went, "There's a police station down the street, about a block and a half. Probably not a good idea." Stopped that shit, flipped him off, and drove off.
Especially as a Mustang driver, you're prone to run into a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
I would say that's
Well, those
the
are those
dumbest and
stories.
stupidest thing I've done.
Yeah.
But you
well,
schooled him, right?
Caboose is yeah, he did a
That's the
burnout,
important
but still.
Nobody cares about it if
Yeah.
you got caught or anything like that. That's all fun and laughter
Yeah.
afterwards. You schooled him right.
Yeah. Fuck your all-wheel drive.
Caboose, you are last. You're last on the menu for topic to
Cabooses?
talk about.
No, I didn't know he gets to go again.
Oh, I thought. Wait, hold on.
No.
Have I done it backwards?
I haven't gone yet.
Basically, Justin needed to think over his answer for this subject.
Well, hold
and
on.
kinda flip-
I haven't had my story yet.
I thought you just had your story with the deer incident.
I had my
My
question.
bad.
I haven't. No, that's not my dumbest. That was
I've confused everyone.
okay. No, I'm still gonna do my story now. Well, it's sort of 3 stories of things, but they're all really short. I'll do dumbest, scariest, and then most dangerous. So the dumbest was I was driving my parents' Chevrolet Trailblazer, which anyone doesn't know what that is. It's a big SUV, and it was rear-wheel drive, which I still question why they bought a rear-wheel drive SUV, but whatever. And it was like very old tires at that point. Like we were just about ready to get new tires, and it was snowing. It was like at nighttime. I was coming home from school, and there was nobody on the road. And when nobody's on the road, you get tempted to do things. And since it was snowing, and I knew I had a rear-wheel drive vehicle, I decided to attempt to drift it. And I did it around a couple corners, and that was probably the dumbest thing I did because I almost hit a pole a couple times. But whatever, that was dumb. I never crashed. It's all good. The scariest thing was probably the first time I hydroplaned when it was like pitch black. I was also driving the Trailblazer at that time, and it was like pitch black, and I was on a country road, and it was just downpouring. And I was doing 55 miles an hour down the road, and all of a sudden I hit like all of a sudden I didn't really know what it was at the time because I'd never hydroplaned. But I just like lost all control of the car. Like the steering didn't do anything, the gas didn't do anything, the brake didn't do anything, and that was sketchy, considering you couldn't see it. And the most dangerous thing I did was with my first car, which was given to me by my uncle, which was a '91 Dodge Spirit. Piece of crap. Called it a POS.
Woo, that's a winner.
Yeah.
It had real
Little
spirit.
box car that barely got up and went. Oh no, it had no spirit.
Like 8 horsepower.
I think it was like 90 horsepower or something like that. Something stupid like that.
A good first car.
When they don't crack 100, they're not a winner.
Nope. And by this point, this thing was old and junky, so like junkier, I guess. So I probably had like 60. But I was like, I was going down a back road during the day after class, like this is in high school, and I was like really curious how fast I could get this thing up to, because you know it's like 40, 45. Now I'm at 50, I think. Nope, not quite. And I was like, So I decided to do that. I did
49 and
manage
a
to
half?
get it to 90, but the whole thing was like shaking back and forth, and it just like, and you're going down this narrow country road. It was the most terrifying thing ever. It was fun, but it was terrifying.
I would imagine.
And I was like,
minimal
yeah,
brakes.
that's all I'm getting. I haven't broke 91 yet, assuming the speedometer is even correct. So that was terrifying.
Yeah,
But
I would
now I got
imagine
my-
that
Well,
thing
I
didn't
mean,
have
Gets up
much
and
brakes
goes.
on it.
Which I
If
still
your
haven't gotten my
speed
car
can break-
past 95 yet. I want to hit 100.
If your speed can break your horsepower, you've done something.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Gravity.
But so yeah. All right, so we can move on to Caboose's topic.
Time to talk about pizza.
That's next week. Or whenever's the next time we do this.
Ah, dang! I had a really good story now. Pepperoni. Oh no.
Don't want to know what you did with pepperoni.
But no, my topic is going to be the dumbest or annoying thing that has happened to you or you have done in a video game. And do you guys want me to go first since I got mine already in the chamber ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah, maybe it'll
because I
spark
know what it
something
is.
for me because I don't know what I'm gonna say yet.
So it's a little bit of dumb and frustrating all at the same time. And there's video evidence of it and should be on the screen, hopefully, if we can get the footage. We were on, Herden and I, we've known each other for a long time now. And,
On Guardian.
yeah, we were on
Back
Guardian
when
on Halo
Caboose
3.
was a wee little lad,
Yeah,
Yep.
an
Halo's
annoying one too.
I wasn't that bad. That bad.
Herden was a young drunk.
Very much
I
drunk.
was.
But no, we were on Halo 3 back when that was the latest Halo game. We were on Guardian.
I won this
free
battle,
for
by
all.
the way.
Technically. It was free for all. It was Herden, me, and a couple other guys. And I went up to the top of the sniper tower on Guardian, and there's a fusion coil. I spot Herden over at top of Yellow Lift. And I decided, alright, I'm going to jump down into the mid. I'm going to throw a grenade while in mid-flight, possibly tag him because I'm good with the grenades, and start pegging him. The moment I
Oh,
jumped,
you tagged him all right.
the moment I jumped and started moving forward, this motherfucker decided, oh, hey, boosh, shoots the fusion coil behind me. Mid-throw, the fusion coil goes off, so I end up going to the top of the little, like, chandelier thing on the map.
Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ended up sticking myself in the face.
I wish I was there.
There
for
is
that.
video proof of that from about 8 years ago that I have. And I was the one that did it to him. And it was fucking hilarious that he stuck himself right in the face.
Fuck you.
That was when I could play Halo.
And now
Yeah,
look at you.
that was. It's in a montage on YouTube that's 8 years old. It was funny.
Like,
It was in the end credits.
yeah. We'll try our best to get the footage up. If not, we'll probably just like leave a link or something in the description below.
Yeah, with a timestamp or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember my dumbest moment or derp of all time, but recently, I think the dumbest thing I've done was I went out, I was told the NES Classic was going to be canceled, so I went out and grabbed it off of Amazon before the price skyrocketed, and I'm glad I did. I paid a little bit over standard price, but not by much. I mean, it was like $60, $70, and I paid like $100 for it. And so I was like, I'm gonna play The Legend of Zelda, the original, and I've loved that game. It was the first game I ever played as a kid growing up, and the only video game I've ever seen my mother play, because she doesn't play video games, but she was addicted to it, and she kind of taught me a little bit about it when I was a little kid. And I was just on a roll. I had my beer. I'd been drinking. I was in a good mood. I was cruising through it. I hadn't used a single potion the entire game. I make it all the way through the ninth dungeon, level 9. Cleared it. I'm coming up to Ganon. I've got like 2/3 of my hearts left. I'm good to go. And before I go in to face Ganon, which I know is not a hard fight on the original, and I'm like, I'm going to beat this without using a single potion the entire game. And I go in there, and while the cutscene's loading, I take a swallow of my beer, set my controller down, and when I go back to pick it up, what do? Hit the button for a fucking potion.
Good job.
And on stream, on Twitch, and immediately just start cursing. And I'm like, God damn it, I had that shit. Wound up losing like 3 hearts. Could have done it. Completely blew it because I needed a swallow of beer.
Damn beer.
Just absolutely fucked it.
Live by the beer.
Yeah, that's
get
my
screwed by
most
the
recent.
beer.
Yeah, that's my most. I was on such a good roll. I was just on cruise control. I had the whole game beat, and I still beat it, but I beat it within like I think an hour and 45 minutes. I was just so pissed because I was like, I've got this recorded on Twitch. I can fucking put a video out with this, a perfect playthrough, no deaths, no potions, and then what do the instant I walk through the door? Use a fucking potion, even though I don't need it.
Yeah.
Carbon.
Alrighty, so technically I have 2, but I'm just gonna, my first one's quick. Just get out of the way. Anyone who plays Murdered Soul Suspect, I recommend it. It's a really good game. It was free for Games with Gold. I made one stupid mistake. I'm an achievement, I like to do achievement hunting. That's an
He's
easy
a
game
whore.
to 100%. Yes. And I made the you get to the very end, I won't spoil or anything, but you get to the very end and it gives you an option. It says basically, go on from here, but you can't go back, or continue on to the final scene. And I was like, well, I don't have all the achievements done yet. And I went and Googled it a little bit and was trying to figure out if there was, like, if I actually had to go back and get the achievements first, or if I could just finish it and go back. I don't remember the exact wording on it, but it was a little confusing the way they worded it. And I was like, whatever, I'll go back. I'm sure there'll be ability. Assassin's Creed has it, every other game does. So why not? Why wouldn't they do it on this one? No, don't do it. Don't. If you don't have all the achievements, don't do it, because I just finished a freaking game that probably took me 5-6 hours, and now I got to go back and start over just to finish all those achievements. But so that's your little tip if you ever play that game. Very frustrating moment, but fun game. But anyways, probably my dumbest moment that I can think of, at least right now, was a couple years ago. I was playing Minecraft with a friend named Zach, and I was always the one that usually did the mining, and he usually was up top dealing with farms or trees or whatever and building stuff. And I was down in the mines carrying a ton of stuff on me, including enchanted armor, bow, sword, all that kind of stuff, like stuff that took forever to get. And I came across, we were playing on survival, and I came across a large diamond mine, essentially. There was like a bunch of it around. I've never seen that much. So I mined it all. Was like, okay, this is a good point to go back. I turn around, and there's a creeper standing right there. Scared the shit out of me. He blew up. I had half a heart. I was like, holy crap, I'm still alive. I literally threw the controller down, went, oh my god, this is like, how did I survive that? Thank God. And all of a sudden, a freaking piece of, like a thing of lava falls on my head. So the creeper exploded the stone. Yeah, the creeper exploded the stone above me, and it slowly fell down. And because I threw my controller down and not moved or anything like that, it killed me.
Lost it all.
That was, yeah, I stopped playing Minecraft for probably like a month or 2 after that.
I wouldn't blame you.
That was a terrible, terrible moment.
I don't blame you on that one.
And it was stupid. It's like, oh, if I would have just kept going.
Yep.
So yeah,
Minecraft can do that to you.
We've all done them.
I'll say actually
games on
interesting.
games. So,
Interesting thing actually I can say on the stream real
little,
quick.
Yeah.
A friend named Drake just texted me and said the animation's done for the Broken Shifter podcast. I think he did a animation
Sweet.
for us.
nice.
Yeah, hey, we might get to see a new animation here for this behind the scenes that we've got. And as a quick outro, we'll just run through this real quick, just to give everybody a little more insight into who the three idiots behind the podcast are. What's your favorite food, Caboose?
I like a good gyro.
Like
Hero.
Okay.
Gyro.
You just wanted to say that, didn't you?
gyro.
It's a hero.
Hero.
Okay, so he likes
Greek
the Greek.
taco.
Justin,
I hate Mexican food, but one of my favorite foods is enchiladas. I love them. I don't like Mexican food most of the time, but I love enchiladas.
enchiladas.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. I know Caboose
That
likes
would
the
be so.
heroes. I didn't know about the enchiladas. And for the record, mine is fried soft crabs, the Chesapeake Bay blue crab fried soft crabs, fresh, not frozen.
So if we ever do any travels, you know what food we like. Now you know where to recommend us to go.
Let's do one quick. No, never mind.
One quick way.
Caboose wouldn't like this. I forgot. I just realized what Caboose was driving. I was gonna say let's just also really quickly tell everyone what cars we drive. But yeah, Caboose probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, we was
Technically nothing right now.
probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, Caboose
Well-
technically drives nothing. I drive a 2010 Ford Fusion.
That was the truck, not yours either. Or was that your mom's?
Well, I drive the Fusion.
Yeah. I drove a 2004 Grand Prix. Pontiac.
Any final?
Yep.
Any final messages or anything you guys want to put out there?
Nope. I think that's it. I think that'll give y'all enough information for this one. This is not going to be a weekly thing. This might be a monthly thing or
Dang.
every 2 month kind of deal.
It's really down to what we feel like. If we feel like we're recording it, we're
Yeah.
putting it out.
This is just to let y'all know kind of who we are behind the scenes and stuff like that. But hope you enjoyed and had a laugh out of our stupidness, because
Do you have
everybody
any,
has stupid stories. If you don't have any stupid stories in your life, you haven't lived.
Exactly.
If you have any future questions that you want to have answered on these, we could always do that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Leave 'em in
Post in the comments if you want to know something. If you got a good question, we'll answer it. Throw them in the comments.
Yeah. The only thing to note
We'll
is
do our best to answer it. Don't ask us if we like the color purple though, or what our favorite dance is, because I guarantee you we can't answer that. Ask something that
The Macarena.
feel free to ask whatever questions you want. Just try to avoid extraordinarily personal stuff. Other than that, feel free, ask whatever you want.
I'm okay with personal stuff, but
I'm okay with some.
yeah, just ask some goofy shit and we'll see what we can answer. Be best if we actually got questions. That way we don't have to think it up. So, anyways, this has been the Broken Shifter podcast behind the scenes with Herden.
Carbon.
Hey, Caboose!
And we will
Let's
be
just have a
back
replay of
whenever
that
the
scene.
fuck we feel like it. Goodbye.